This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at SIGGRAPH 2015. What we're seeing behind us is, I think, one of the most special exhibits here at SIGGRAPH this year. To my immediate left is Koki Nagano, and to his left is Joey Burrito. They're both from the University of Southern California. They're both students. You're an intern, I understand, formerly of Berkeley, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us. Now, there's two sides, I think, to this exhibit. There's obviously the technology side, and then there's the content side, which I think makes this both special and important. Let's talk a little bit about the content. Koki, what do we have on display here? Or who do we have on display, I should say?
The content we are showing right now is Holocaust survivors. His name is Mikas Guta. We recorded hours of interviews of a Pinkas talk. We asked a lot of questions, and then we recorded the performance of his answers. And then on the display, we have 216 video projectors, and then we create a virtual 216 views to create a smooth 3D dimensional imagery.
Now, I've seen, there's been all kinds of work to help keep the memory alive of the Holocaust and what it means for everybody's future, really. Now, Joey, can you tell us a little bit about what you did on the project?
Yeah, so my role in the project was basically helping put together a seamless demo for SIGGRAPH. We had the array built, we had the light stage, the footage was all recorded, but beyond that, we had to still get it all together. There was a lot of calibration that had to be done. There was a lot of editing. There's a lot of things that weren't quite right with the data, and so part of my work was really just getting this working for a really nice experience for our visitors.
Hello.
Hello.
What do you want to talk about?
I would very much like to share with you how I survived.
What is your name?
My name is Pinchas Guta, and I have come here to listen to some of your questions. I believe you have some questions.
How old are you?
I was born in 1932, and we are now in 2014, and you can make your own reckoning.
Did you have a happy childhood?
My life before the war. I was born in Łódź, Poland, and I was 8 years old when the war started. So the first 8 years I lived in a home, a very religious one, a Hasidic home. I had a twin sister. My father was a winemaker, and we lived a normal life. I started school when I was 3.5 years old. I also started being trained as a winemaker because my family were winemakers 400 years in Poland. So I started both, studying to become a worker, a master winemaker, and started schooling. Basically, it was the Old Testament that I started studying when I was around about 3 or 3.5. That was more or less, what happened to me before the war. And I was a very happy child. Sick sometimes, and I had all kinds of experiences, but basically my life was very happy.
Now, what I'd like to ask as well is, as I mentioned, we've seen like Holocaust memorial content before. This is, of course, distinctly special. Why was it important to do it this way?
We would like to record an interactive story of Holocaust survivors. This is a last generation of the Holocaust survivors, and we want to preserve those interactive stories so that the future generation can ask questions and interact with those survivors so that we can preserve those unforgettable cultures and experiences.
What I could relate to is when I first saw this demo, I was looking around at the screen. I didn't even realize what it was about until I asked. I thought it was just about having a very fluid 3D panel. But it's not just about seeing his story. It's like you literally interact. So there's a voice recognition to this as well, I take it?
Yeah, so the way it works is one of the computers we have is running a server, and that's using Google's speech-to-text API. And so when you ask a question that's converted to some kind of a sentence, that's matched to a list of possible questions we have in a database, and then that's mapped to an answer that we have a video of. And so when you ask a question, all of that happens extremely quickly, and it switches to the right video clip with the answer appropriate for the question you asked.
Okay, wonderful. Now, how long did it take to record this content?
We spent about a week to record about thousands of hours of interviews using 30 of HD video cameras.
And so you recorded with 30 HD video cameras. They take it to capture that 3D information from different angles. And then how are you projecting this?
From a sparse set of views we captured, we have a computer vision algorithm to smoothly interpolate the images into space and create 216 virtual views that project the correct perspective from each individual projector, so that we can achieve a nice, smooth 3D imagery on the screen.
Now, this is, of course, one survivor. Are you doing this with other survivors as well? Is there a long-term plan for this?
Yeah, in fact, in the coming year or so, we're planning on filming a number of other Holocaust survivors with the same organization. This was just the first one we did.
Which organization?
The Shoah Foundation.
Is this going to be a museum display one day, or?
At the end, we like to show this content on the Illinois Holocaust Museum, Survivors Museum, and we have a version of a demonstration going on over there. But I think the goal is would be to bring this into the 3D display into the museum.
You know, if I may say, I mean, what really came out of this, I know, of course, the technology is very impressive, the way it was put together is very impressive, is that it is very human. And what I mean by that is you interact with this gentleman. I mean, I know we were doing some recording footage, and I couldn't look away because he was literally interacting with me. And, you know, I think that's an important ingredient that you captured with this technology. So how long do you think this project is going to go on?
Or how long?
Let me rephrase. Okay. Like, how long? I mean, you've got this one survivor. You have others. Like, is this a long-term project that you're working on, like a couple years, or is it just an experiment?
Yes. The first survivors, we spent already a couple of years, and then during the process, we learned a lot of. We also developed a lot of pipelines to smoothly process the data and then create content for the 3D display, and hopefully we can create a more. Ready to display data smoothly for the next characters.
Well, thank you both for joining us. I think it's very memorable. I'm really glad you got to show it here. Thank you both.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
This is Neil Schneider for MTBS. It's MTBS-TV at SIGGRAPH 2015. We will, of course, be back with more. Thank you for watching.